1 year and 1 day from today, Illinois voters will head to the polls to elect a governor, state legislature, and members of Congress. With Democrats holding the state's top office and majorities in all other areas, the election's sure to be a test of the party's staying power during a presidential midterm that could decimate gains on the national level. One area that is sure to draw major attention next year, DuPage County. For decades, Chicago's western suburbs have been known as a bright red spot in a sea of blue. But voters there shocked political watchers last year, siding with Democrats in several major races. Well, now the county's Democratic Party has elected a new chairman with an eye towards 2022. I spoke with Ken Mejia-Beal about his role over the next 12 months. Thanks for joining me. You are the youngest chair ever in DuPage County for the Democratic Party, first person of color, first openly gay or LGBTQ chair in the state. Ordinarily, that kind of top job would go to somebody with years of experience and working their way up the chain. Looks like you skipped a couple of steps. Talk about your background a little bit and what brought you right to the top.
Well, I've been doing this I've been in activism for 13 years, so I definitely did not skip steps. I've just been working the ground game. So started off as an activist in the healthcare world and social justice, gun reform, and joined the Democratic Party of DuPage and just worked my way up, worked with a lot of candidates, did a lot of volunteer training, and now I'm the chair.
And they trusted you with the reins.
Yes.
Look, I have to tell you, DuPage County was ruby red for over a century. Obviously, the area went strongly blue in 2020 in federal and state legislative races, though the margins weren't exactly huge, but nevertheless, what group of voters do you need to reach out to over the next 12 months to just ensure that that blue wave wasn't just a ripple?
Sure, the voters that no one else is reaching out to. So our independent voters, our young voters, our voters who have just moved to DuPage County recently, that are not aware that we are here and we are strong and we hold their values.
Next year, every single seat on the board is up for grabs. Even the chairman, Dan Cronin, not running again, so there's a possibility there. Where's your focus going to be? Is it going to be on filling those board seats with Dems? Are you looking at the congressional rates following a redistricting, the governor's race? Where's your effort?
My effort's everywhere. I'm spreading myself thin because we got to win. Put that on a bumper sticker. But when it comes to the county board, yes, the positions I'm looking into qualified candidates that can run, and we're looking to back qualified candidates.
Obviously, COVID, the economy, all critical issues. And I'm sort of curious how Dems are going to assure voters in 2022 that, they are the party to get this pandemic under control. Obviously, the governor does a lot of it, but there's certainly resistance to it. I think the vaccination rate in DuPage County is about 66%, something like that. So what kind of efforts need to go there to keep people on board?
Well, what we have to do is not talk about what we are going to do, but talk about what we've done as a party, our individual elected officials. We've really done the work when it comes to COVID and keeping it under control, vaccinations, vaccination drives. We have driven that bus ourselves.
Obviously, redistricting numbers show a number of Latinos are up. When you look at DuPage County, by the way, the number of Latinos in that area are up as well. Do you see that as a plus for your efforts in 2022?
It can go either way. I don't think any voting block is a monolithic voting block. However, I do believe that our party has done a lot of work to diversify itself and invest in the Latino community and Latino values. Yes.
I think we learned in this past week's elections, Republicans are energized. They're going to the polls. What are you going to do to energize Democrats who don't seem to have that same energy at this time?
Well, I think what we have to do and what we have to focus on is strictly reminding voters what put food on their table, what puts the roof on their head, and that's our party. We're not running. What I don't want to happen is folks to think we're going to run on saying we're Democrats, vote for us. That's not my plan. My plan is to say, hey, school safety, vaccinations, the economy. Look at what we've already done.
Well, look at the economy, because overall household income in DuPage County, it's been down over the last period of years. And so people might be looking for a change. What do you do to assure them that under more Democratic influence and control, that income is going to go back up?
It's not really about it's about keeping your income up, but it's also about bringing in the jobs and bringing in what we call competitive economy. So if you have a job and it's not paying well, but it's the only job available, you're going to keep it. We got to bring in new jobs here in DuPage. We got to diversify and be competitive in the economy. That's what the Democratic Party wants to do.
What are you hearing as the top issues among constituents right now in DuPage? What drives this election next year, issue-wise?
Healthcare is a big deal. The environment's a big deal. I mean, once again, as a county, we have a lot of different issues, but the main issue, if we're going to rope it all in together, is people want to vote for folks that have their common interest at heart. And that is where our party shines. We really do care about folks and have the common interest at heart.
I mentioned earlier that Dan Cronin not running again for a fourth term. He seems to be putting some energy behind Greg Hart, younger person on the board. What are Democrats looking to do to challenge the county presidency?
We have a couple of declared candidates. We still have room to have more candidates. So when all of our candidates have declared, I'd be more than happy to answer that question.
Guess we'll have you back.
Absolutely.
All right, Mr. Chairman, Ken Mejia Beal, thanks for spending some time with me. Good luck in this new endeavor, and we'll keep tabs on how things are going in DuPage County. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take one more break. We are back with more Political Report after these words.